you for this opportunity, and thank you, Republic, for giving me this chance to talk about RMR Laboratories. I'm really excited to present my vision for what we're doing. I think we have a really bold vision. I think we have the team to execute on that vision, and I think we have a really compelling technology to begin to move towards what we believe is a very, very lucrative and bold path. So let's jump right in.
Great.
So as I mentioned, I'm the CEO co-founder of RMR Laboratories, and what we do is really take a science-led approach to developing consumer pharmaceuticals in the cannabis space. I really think that 2016 was a tipping point for the cannabis industry, and if any company is not thinking about how to differentiate itself, I don't think they'll win. And that being said, though, I think it's still the Wild West, and the industry is really still taking shape. What I see is a big unmet need for safe, consistently effective, convenient to use products. And I think that consumers are really going to enter into this industry demanding those different attributes. I think that RMR has a right to own this space because of the team that we have, the partnerships that we've already landed, and the technology that I'll be discussing and diving deeper into in the coming slides. Before I jump into the details, though, I think it'd be useful to tell you a little bit about how I got here. I myself am a veteran and an athlete, so I have different ailments from both my time in the service and my time, whether it's mountain climbing or endurance events that I like to do. So when I go on these events and when I talk to my fellow veterans, it's no surprise that we all have similar ailments in our knees and our hips, shoulders. Just, it runs the gamut of different things. I also noticed that they were, using cannabis to relieve these ailments. But, for me personally, I don't prefer to inhale products, and I didn't find that ingesting it was consistent enough for me to really get the relief that I needed. So I went looking for something different. I wanted to try to find something that provided relief to the spots where I needed it consistently and safely. And I noticed that wasn't a idiosyncratic problem. I noticed that was a problem that existed across the folks that I talked to that were using cannabis to relieve their health ailments. There were really two ways to use it. There was really inhaling or ingesting. And as I mentioned before, those are just not consistent, and they really don't get to the spots where you need them when it comes to chronic pain, at least. So when I also started doing research, I noticed that the current topicals on the market really didn't have any technology or differentiation underlying their products. And mostly they were just superficial. But we do know, and I think a growing body of research suggests that cannabinoids themselves are very powerful pain relievers, and they really, if harnessed in the right way, have a significant pain relieving effect. So we needed a third way to deliver the cannabinoids, and so that's what we developed at RMR Labs. We found this third route, which is directly through the skin. Our technology is, and I'll be diving deeper into it in the following slides, but our technology is patented. It has been thoroughly researched, and it's been proven in many other applications. And I'm very excited to bring that technology into the cannabis industry to harness those powerful active ingredients as I described before. So our first product line at RMR Laboratories really is like injecting cannabis into your body. but without the trauma of the needle, because we can deliver the cannabinoids through your skin in a direct way. Let me tell you how that works, because I think that there's a misconception about what transdermal really is and what it signifies. The reality is the skin is a protective layer. It's designed to not let things pass through. Sure, there are very small molecules that can go through in an indirect way, but to really truly be transdermal, there are only certain pathways that exist to get there. For us, we've been able to develop the technology to take the most direct pathway. So through the intercellular path into your skin. So the top layer is made up of what's called the stratum corneum, which it literally looks like the bricks and mortar structure that you see in the picture there, and it's held together by a lipid mortar, right? So what we've been able to create this lipid ingredients within cannabinoids to go through the skin. And taking this direct route really opens up opportunities to serve a wide variety of health applications, because it is the most efficient route, and it increases the ability to get the active ingredients directly to where you need it. So let's, I alluded to the science, so let's talk about that. It's very strong, but it's also very protected. We have 40 patents in the US and globally. I have an exclusive license to use it within cannabinoids. So, there's a long track record of the application of this technology in other areas. And I've been able to gain the license to use this for cannabis on a perpetual, exclusive, and global basis, which also includes the right to sublicense. I should say that the team that is prosecuting these patents, this is the first startup they've ever taken on. Is a startup that contains our technology, just because they're so excited about it. So that legal patent team typically only works with the largest pharmaceutical companies, but they have chosen to work with us to prosecute our patents because they also believe in the technology. So I think that is a great sign of credibility. And what you can see here also is that, again, the technology has been tested very rigorously in other health applications. So now that our vision, we really want to be the kind of preeminent consumer pharma company in the cannabis space, and we think that we have the right technology to get there. Let's take a step back and talk about the market. I think that I'm not only excited about the trajectory of where the market is going with regards to deregulation. I'm also extremely excited that there are going to be tens of millions of new users that are going to be looking into the space to solve their health ailments, to look for something that's natural, that's effective, and that's safe. And I think that, again, because of our team, because of our technology, I think we have the right to own that space. So let's talk about how we're going to do that. So the way RMR is going to be oriented is to develop IP with regards to R&D and marketing and sales. Those are really going to be our core competencies, and that's what I'm going to spend most of my time focused on. And then we're going to develop partnerships to do the production, distribution, and delivery, ultimately. That's for a few reasons. I think that is a very attractive operating model. First, it allows us to scale quickly. And then second, I think it also helps us mitigate risk. So let's talk about how we've been executing on this operating model so far. So for the first products we are planning to launch in the first quarter of 2018, I've already signed up a partnership with one of the largest corporations currently operating in the cannabis industry, which is Advanced Nutrients, as a production and distribution partner. I'm really excited about the capabilities they bring to the table. And again, it's as if I'm like a startup soda maker and I just signed Coca-Cola right off the bat, right? I think it's another sign of the strength of our team and the strength of our technology that Advanced Nutrients chooses to work with us when they can really choose to work with many other cannabis companies. So we have the exclusive relationship with them to be their provider of all products in the topical category, and I'm really excited about that. Let's talk about what they bring to the table. So they have distribution in every single deregulated market in the US, as well as Canada, as well as markets in Europe as well. They, as a company, really start at the beginning of the value chain in cannabis. They provide a lot of the fertilizers and chemistries to increase yields for cannabis growers. And they're looking to develop closer relationships to the end user. And so that's where RMR fits neatly into that business strategy. So I really think this is a powerful partnership that we have. In addition, they bring tremendous leverage with regards to getting the word out with how our products are truly differentiated. They have a following that's been cultivated over the 18 years that they've been in operation. So they really also bring the credibility of operating in the cannabis space and seeing the evolution of that space over time. And I'm really excited to be able to activate that audience to further get the word out about what we're doing, what the vision of RMR is, and how our initial products are really going to bring benefit to existing and new users as well. So let's talk about what's coming up next. We are, I will first note that, I've been really excited about the progress we've made in the short time that we've been operating. We formed the company in August, and in that short time frame, we are ready to bring our initial chronic pain and sports injury CBD products to market. I feel comfortable with the performance of these products because of the focus groups, in-home trials that we've done so far and the feedback that we've been getting. So I believe that those will be ready to be commercial and will launch in 3 initial markets in the first quarter of 2018 in Colorado, Oregon, and California. For Colorado and Oregon, there's we're working with not only Advanced Nutrients, but another distributor that is excited about the product and the category, and they are also looking at ways to partner with us, whether via private labeling or directly distributing our brands. So we hope to have some exciting developments to give to you on the campaign page in the coming weeks. For other threads, even though I'm outsourcing my production distribution, there is a bit of a supplier development thread that needs to happen because of the current capabilities in the industry and where it's going. The good news, though, is that the production cell that we've designed is asset efficient, and our partners have already approved that design and that cell, and we're already testing those lines and the performance and the different operational characteristics with regards to quality and throughput. So I expect that activity to continue to scale up over the next, called 6 to 9 months to serve the markets that we're going to initially launch, and then the markets that we want to launch with in the future. There's some product branding that we need to finish, and then finally we need to onboard. I call it onboarding customers, but really it's getting the word out of how our product is truly differentiated and our technology is unique in the transdermal arena. Finally, with regards to product development, as I will talk about soon, we are hard at work with additional formulations for additional applications. And again, our base technology provides the perfect platform to do that. And that's what also makes me excited. I describe it as, the rigor of a pharma company, but the product launch cycle of a CPG company. And it's a balance that we strike, but I think we have the right underlying fundamentals to strike that balance. So I alluded to the roadmap several times. Let me talk a little bit more about it. We're going to market with our sports injury and our chronic pain applications initially. And there not only are opportunities to build breadth across applications, there's tremendous opportunity to build depth within the applications themselves with regards to tweaking the actives concentration, adding additional actives, and also optimizing for certain features. I think that there will be a time where the state and federal regulations will converge, and we will have, RMR will be positioned to have the first truly crossover products that are ready for mass market consumption and mass market retailers. You can imagine that this screen, what you see here, could look like a shelf that you would see if you walked into one of the major retailers, and that's that's the vision that I have, is that we really want to first gain the credibility in the user's mind that our products work, and then leverage that credibility not only across applications but across categories as well. And that's what I allude to here. I think to achieve our vision to be, the Johnson & Johnson of the cannabis industry, we're going to need to go across categories. RMR can stay busy, and I think it can is an incredibly lucrative roadmap to stay within the topicals arena. But I want to look outside of that when the timing is right, and when our product development is there to begin to develop other categories and product groups as well, to just come up with a well-rounded portfolio. So let's talk about the competition. I think that, as I alluded to before, within the cannabis industry, we really are unique in that we have a differentiated technology. Many of the other topicals that exist out there depend on novelty. They don't depend on technology. And so I think that within cannabis industry itself, we fare very well. The only natural that has the technology to get to the root cause of where that pain comes from. Now, having said that, I understand that chronic pain almost by definition has multiple sources, and so it is we've seen tremendous feedback on folks that have had decades of pain, that have tried many different pain relievers. So that's why I'm confident to say that we are truly differentiated there. Let's dive into the team a bit more. I'm really excited about who we've put together to execute on our vision and our initial components of the roadmap. In the folks you see here are a snapshot of are the leaders that are really driving a lot of the innovation forward. We have over 40 years cumulative life sciences experience. Ryan, Rajat, and myself have started companies, have exit companies, and we've also advised large life sciences companies on their corporate strategy. So I feel very comfortable that we've crafted the right vision, and that we're steering ourselves in the right direction. And then when you layer on top of that, the cannabis industry experience that comes along with the partnerships that we've been able to develop with Advanced Nutrients, and what Mike brings to the table with regards to his audience, his reach, his know-how, it just becomes a very compelling overlap. And then you add in the really unique and world-class marketing expertise that we have, over decades of experience launching products in this exact space, owning large brands, understanding how to manage those brands, understanding marketing technology, what underlies that marketing technology. I really think we have all the pieces to not only execute in the short term, but really drive a lot of value in the long term as well. So, the crowdfunding campaign that we're running right now, I should take a step back and really, give some detail on why I decided that crowdfunding would be the right path for us. And the reason is I want a broader audience here and the rest of our investors on Republic to really share in the value that we're going to create in RMR. And also, I think that there's the products that we're developing really will benefit, the 1 in 3 people that are suffering from chronic pain, but also the other applications that I talked about. So I thought, what better way to, align everybody's interests, to get the word out, and to really, drive home the message that there's going to be finally some differentiation using these very powerful, pain relieving and anxiety relieving and other health application soothing ingredients that are coming to market. So that's why I thought crowdfunding was the right way to go. And the proceeds from this campaign are really going to be focused on, building up our inventories to serve the markets that we're launching in with the products that we're going to launch, to continue down the product development path so that we we execute on our robust pipeline, and then also to engage our customers in that honest conversation that I want to start with them about why we are different and why we are effective. On the taking a long-term view, I think that it's investors. There are many different ways to, I think, make returns on on your capital for investors. I think that acquisition or strategic investment by mainstream corporates is not out of the question. We're starting to see some forays into that right now. But also, I should share that the way I'm building up RMR Laboratories, the way we are setting our foundation is really to access public markets within the 3-year time frame. And I think that it's an attractive source of capital. I think that at that point we'll be at a scale we'll need to access those public markets to really grow, both within the U.S. and internationally as well. So I think that for investors, they should be aware that this is the path that we're driving on, is really to IPO within the next 5 years. And the team that we put together and the operations that we're setting up are oriented towards that time frame. Thank you so much for your time and your attention today. Like I said, I really think that I'm excited to be working on this. I think that we are really on the right path to deliver benefits to tens of millions of users that are just looking for something safe and credible to relieve their pain. I'd love to answer any questions that you might have right now. If you'd like to learn more information, I invite you to join us at the crowdfunding page on Republic.
Michael, thank you so much for such a detailed presentation. This was really helpful for the investors to get to know your company. So when you see the questions that people asking you on the Republic discussion board, would you mind highlighting a couple and addressing them?
Absolutely. So one question I typically get that I tried to address early on in the presentation is, I thought all topicals get through your skin. What makes you different? And I think that's one of the pieces of education that I want to really spend some time with, thinking about how to communicate that effectively to consumers out there. The skin, again, really is a protective layer that's designed to keep things out. Most topicals will not penetrate the skin. Having said that, there are nerve endings and capillaries that end near the surface of your skin. So, icy hot, you'll feel the menthol cooling effect because it acts on the surface of your skin. But the reality is, there's very, very few things that can really penetrate the skin. And there are certainly no other technology that I've seen so far that can get to the depth that we can with the wide variety of ingredients that we've been able to prove that we can do. And we've had to prove that, right, to gain the patents that we've been able to gain. So, the first question I typically get is, I thought everything was transdermal, right? Transdermal is a word that's thrown around a lot. The reality is, 99.8% of the products that are out there that are topicals aren't transdermal. There are very few that are. And, I believe that our technology is a true differentiator in the cannabis space.
That's very helpful. There's a question coming through. Is this DMSO technology the one that you use?
Yeah. Hi, Mark. Thanks. DMSO. Can you let me know what that acronym stands for?
We won't be able to hear you, Mark. So if you could type your question, that would be helpful.
Oh, so yeah. So I think what you're referring to, Mark, is dimethyl sulfoxide, right? No, our products, our formulation does not contain that as a solvent to penetrate the skin.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. So again, thank you RMR team and Michael specifically about presenting. Yes, so he's asking, what do you use?
Yeah, hey Mark. The formulation and technology we use obviously is proprietary. I can tell you that it's been in development, and tested rigorously. So we believe that we have something unique and that it works. And I think again the traction that we've been able to gain for our partners and from an IP perspective makes us confident in thinking that.
Great. And a last question, and then let's wrap it up because the next presenter is ready to go, is about your valuation. How did you arrive or where you are?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Nolan or Ms. Nolan. I appreciate the question. We looked at the different scenarios for when we would need to raise capital next. We also did diligence on where current cannabis companies trade. I think given our technology, given the strength of our partnerships, that's how we arrived at our initial evaluation.